welcome to TJD Movie Reviews, episode 5. We watched American Beauty.
American Beauty.
American Beauty. American Beauty.
The beautiful people. The beautiful people.
That's not what we watched.
Oh.
So, came out in 1999. Kevin Spacey, Annette Bening, Thora Birch, Wes Bentley.
Mina
Suvari. Chris Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Cooper.
Scott Bakula.
The Dracula himself. As the gay neighbor.
Quantum Leap.
So how did you feel about it? I had seen it. Neither of you had.
No. I had no... I remember when this film came out. Back when I was... I think I was still in elementary school, 6th grade-ish area. I remember seeing all the posters for it. Kind of wondered what the hell it was, but I mean, it was alright. I couldn't see it. At that time, I wasn't too into Academy Award-winning movies. I was more interested in Space Jam, so I had no idea what to expect with this film.
Space Jam.
Space Jam, on the same level as American Beauty.
Nice name drop.
Thanks.
This movie for me, I had absolutely no interest. No interest whatsoever in seeing this film.
It's funny because he never told me that after I recommended, hey, we should watch this. He was like, yeah, whatever.
Well, no, I'm just saying, as a youth, when it came out, Ty was saying he was more interested in Space Jam and stuff like that, and I just think because of my general non-interest in the film, that's why I hadn't watched it in so long. But I almost appreciate it more now than I would have had I watched it back in '99. Just because you can relate more to the characters, I think, and you're more you're more mature. You're able to distinguish
more worldly.
Yeah. We've all experienced more than when we were 12, 13 years old.
I have a fonder appreciation of this film having watched it now.
Good.
The only other thing I'll say that I knew about this film, which really I knew nothing about, but I knew it came from this film, was Not Another Teen Movie made fun of the whole bag scene.
And that was just a small snippet.
Yeah.
Of the movie.
They had the Wes Bentley character where he was filming stuff, but they had the bag as a joke, which really, there was only a small portion of this film that actually dealt with that. So, other than that, I had no idea going into this film what it was about.
It's funny because I love Not Another Teen Movie, but there's a whole generation of people that saw that movie and not American Beauty that now associate the bag thing with some fucking weirdo, when in reality, to me, that's one of the most pivotal parts of his character. Ricky's character in the movie is revealing the way that he looks at the world is actually a lot more optimistic than you would think. I don't look at the world that way. I fucking wish that I could.
Especially not a regular 18-year-old kid.
Right. He seemed like a kid that had seen some shit.
Yeah.
Which you find out he has seen some shit.
Right. And speaking of which, this is probably a good time to bring up the format change.
After some discussion we had with each other and also hearing back from some people, we decided we're going to make this more of a review podcast, a true review. Instead of going through the whole film point by point, we decided to cut it back a little bit. We're going to talk about what we thought of the movie still. We're going to talk about some plot points, what we liked, what we didn't, some of the, the way the cast acted, some awards, maybe some fun facts, and then also just some random tangents we'll go on. But it will be a little bit more of a free podcast than trying to go through the whole movie.
Right. So we're going to graduate from TJD movie summaries / reviews to just movie reviews. We're going to talk about the movie. There may be spoilers, so just a warning. It happens,
And this movie is old enough by now. You may already know some of these spoilers that'll happen. With other movies, you might not, but just be forewarned.
You've been warned.
I wish I had an alarm button every time we had a spoiler, an air raid siren.
It's okay. Jake can just edit that in post.
Okay.
Because I have all that time on my hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being computer inept and bullshitting my way through editing.
If you're able to play Batman Arkham Asylum on computer, you can edit a podcast.
I edit this audio about as well as Stevie Wonder would. And he's fucking blind.
So good.
Yeah, he's very talented musically.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
So let's kind of jump into a quick synopsis of this film.
Kevin Spacey plays Lester Burnham. He's a 42, I believe.
Yes.
42 years old.
42-year-old man who's just kind of tired of his everyday bullshit. He lives in the suburbs. His family doesn't give a shit about him. He's pretty underappreciated. His wife thinks he's a loser. His daughter thinks he's dorky. You know, he's kind of on the back burner.
Got a dead-end job.
His job fucking sucks. He's been at this magazine for 14 years, I think he says. And something happens. Well, I guess we could fucking say he goes to like a homecoming game. His daughter was a cheerleader. And he sees this girl that is his daughter Jane's friend. And she kind of is the instigator that kind of gets him to wake up and start taking control of his life again.
You know what? Pretty much we could say he has a midlife crisis. He lived in this... he's living in this terrible... No, it's not a terrible suburb, but just in this terrible lifestyle. He doesn't appreciate it. And he has, like we said, a dead-end job. And just... he feels reinvigorated by seeing this friend of his daughter's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he has no sense of self-worth or identity because he's just been doing the same shit for so long and he's just kind of tired of it.
And then once you see this, the rest of the movie then is the consequences of his actions of changing his own life, how it affects his daughter and her new relationships, how it affects his relationship with his neighbors, how it affects the relationship with his wife. And you see all the fallout with all that.
I like a movie with characters that are flawed because in the real world, you're going to meet people that have, great strengths and horrible flaws. It's part of what makes us human. And what I love about this movie is everybody's kind of broken in a relatable way. What I get from Spacey, why he's infatuated with this girl is he misses the lightheartedness,
The free spirit.
The free spirit that his wife Carolyn used to be. That's what he wants. Carolyn misses the power, I think, and she later gets that from the real estate king because, he's kind of a dominant,
she misses the alpha.
Right. Which Spacey used to be because Spacey didn't used to give a fuck. He just did whatever he felt like doing, and that's what he enjoyed doing. Jane kind of wants to be noticed, and
she's really insecure.
Like any teenage girl can be.
Right. Colonel Fitz has a whole lot of fucking shit going on. He's obviously a closet homosexual. There's stuff that didn't make it into the movie about he had a relationship and now that you've seen it, if you go back and watch it, do you think that it would be blindingly apparent that he's compensating for something? He's very on edge for the entire fucking movie. And
now it makes more sense like that he doesn't want that to be his son. He doesn't want to feel like he's passed that burden on to his son because he's had to deal with it his whole life. Now, I think that's why he says, hey, I don't want this for you. I don't like that they throw this lifestyle in our face, talking about the homosexual community.
Right. Yeah. Why can they be so open about it? There's a part, I don't know if you guys caught it. Well, you wouldn't have. You'll remember the part, but there's a part where he's with his wife, who's basically just a shell, like you said. She doesn't really have a personality. She's just been broken down too much over the years. But he laughs at something on TV, and then he kind of looks around like he's ashamed that he just showed emotion. And then Ricky comes in, and he kind of straightens up, and they just sit there and watch TV. And Ricky eventually goes up, but that dude is not comfortable with who he is or anything about him.
No, you can totally tell.
And he takes it out on his kid, basically, because Ricky kind of is... I don't know how to word it. Ricky is kind of comfortable with what he is.
He knows who he is, and he accepts himself for what he is.
Right.
And it's crazy. Like, he's super confident. Like, and Jane even says that the first time they actually, like, meet. It's so bizarre to see an 18-year-old high school student with so much so much fervor, seeing the world the way he does. Yeah, it's just it's kind of a breath of fresh air, and to see I won't say a kid, but a young adult act the way that he does.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit. Like, I'm going to talk about one of my parts I enjoyed in this film.
Okay.
And it was really like the ending sequence, because just some of the way they set up some of these shots. My favorite shot was his wife staring out her car window. There's just this huge thing has come between Kevin Spacey and his wife, but Spacey doesn't even care anymore. But she feels she's the victim for some reason or another, even though he doesn't care. Mm-hmm. He hasn't said anything bad. He hasn't said leaving her or anything. She just feels like she's the victim, though, for one reason or another. And I think it just sets up like this final scene perfectly, that she's just looking through the rain at her front door, White House, red door. It's like that's the final door.
There's
like,
a lot of red on white in this movie.
With the rose petals and the bathtub.
And eventually the blood.
Yeah. The blood and the wall or the table. Mm-hmm. Or the ceiling and the rose petals. Which, Jake, you told me about this. What is an American Beauty?
If I remember correctly, an American Beauty is a breed of rose that has a lot of thorns on it. So it's very nice to look at, but you kind of don't want to touch it. And it's also known for rotting the soil that it grows in, which is kind of genius. Well, it's a good name for the movie. It fits, you know. You're a happy suburban family on the outside, and when you take a closer look, like Look Closer was the tagline of the movie, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on.
Yeah, underneath once you dig in, you realize shit is not what it is.
Mm-hmm. This has been ruined by what has grown here.
I will say, I like the character, but one of my least favorite parts of this movie is Wes Bentley. He's so gosh dang creepy to me in this film. Like, I do enjoy the character. Like, I guess it does exactly what you want it to do. We say he's very mature and he's very, foresight and everything. But at the same time, he freaks me the hell out throughout most of this film.
I think that's because he's not your typical.
Yeah, I think it was intentional. Mm-hmm. I don't think his character would care what anybody thought.
No, he wouldn't. Especially that scene with his dad at the end. He obviously doesn't give a shit what his dad thinks about him.
He just does what he wants.
He did care. Because later, remember, Janie and him are talking, and she's like, "You must really hate your dad," and he's like, "No." I think he more feels sorry for him. Hmm. Because at the end, in their final confrontation, when he comes in, he's like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "I'm the best piece of ass in 3 states," and all that, because it's a huge misunderstanding. And he's in that fighting pose, and he says, "You're such a sad old man," and just leaves, tells his mom goodbye, and that's the end of it.
Well, but then I think he's content with everything. Like, him and Jane are sitting on the bed, like, near the end of the movie, and they're like, when he's about to run off to New York, and she's like, "My parents will look for me," and he goes, "Yeah, mine won't."
He knows when the writing's on the wall.
Yeah. But he had been there with his parents already before. They had sent him off to military school, and his dad, had him institutionalized or something for 2 years. That relationship with that family. I mean, we could go through each of these families and realize there are a lot of faults.
the beginning of the movie, when he gets in the car with his dad, I don't know if you noticed, but he's writing numbers. It's his finances.
That's why I was wondering.
And then in the end, when he's like, "I have $40,000, and you're like, "Holy fuck, it's a good chunk of change."
So we didn't really tell everybody that he's a weed dealer.
I think he was obviously planning ahead, like, I'm not happy here, eventually I'm going to take off. But he just happened to meet Jane and feel like taking her with.
And he also looks for the beauty that you don't normally see. It's not all looks to him. He wants, why he falls for Jane is she's not perfect. Mm-hmm. She's a cheerleader and a dancer at the school, but she's unhappy with her family and her family lifestyle. She has issues with her body image. she just, she's a normal teenage girl who just, well, I guess I can't really say. I don't know from experience.
It's been a while since you were a teenage girl.
Yeah. But
a couple years now.
Yeah.
When you grew into your man body.
Yeah. It just all of a sudden everything reversed and I became a man. So. Yeah.
I don't know what to say to you right now.
I don't know either.
You've made the transition quite well.
I guess. Yeah. But he finds the beauty in stuff that normal people wouldn't say is beautiful. In like that whole paper bag scene, that's where he, if I heard him right, that's where he pretty much found there's another benevolent force, or there's like a god.
Right.
Which to me is a little bit far-fetched, but I get what he's saying.
Because you're a hardcore atheist?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But no.
Well, I think for him it was more so just a driving inspiration to find the beauty in everything.
Mm-hmm. Which, isn't that what we talked about before, is the guy who wrote this film said he saw pretty much the same thing, and that inspired him to write this whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So for such a small part that actually got lampooned quite a bit...
Obviously had a big impact on him.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy for a scene that was, I don't know, maybe a minute.
I'd give about 5. Because he talks through...
Yeah, okay. Well, let me rephrase it. For a scene that was so small,
yes.
It was very pivotal.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where... What's her name? What's the daughter's name?
Jane.
That's where Jane actually starts to feel for him. She was with her friend, always like, he's kind of weird. He's always videotaping me. He was, like, the first time she met him, he was sitting on his porch in the dark videotaping her as she walked up to her house.
Right.
She just thought he was a creep, but then she took the time to walk with him, and then she watched the video with him, listened to him, and that's when she kind of turned her own corner on what she thought of him.
She could kind of see the world the way that he saw it and be like, okay, you're not really a creep. You're kind of just doing your thing, whatever makes you happy. And I could see why she'd be drawn to that. I don't know about you, but I'm not the happiest guy ever. I have off days.
Wait. Shouldn't you just say you have on days where you are happy?
Occasionally I have an on day where I'm in a good mood. Yeah. It's rare, but sometimes.
You're more off than you are on.
Mm-hmm. If I were a Winnie the Pooh character, I would be Eeyore for sure. But,
anyways.
This is derailed pretty fucking hard.
I think why she's so drawn to him is, people try and look... Well, obviously, this is so dumb saying this and so cliche, but you look for something in common with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And, Kevin Spacey's character doesn't really find that with Annette Bening anymore.
Caroline.
Yeah. I don't know. I think all these characters are just trying to belong somewhere, somehow.
Who wouldn't be drawn to that, though? Somebody that sees the world as great, It would have to rub off on you, you know?
And also, just being around somebody that has that great of outlook, even when they've been through these hard things, makes you feel better about yourself. Or they could help you eventually get to that mindset.
Basically, everybody in this movie needs something, and everybody gets it, in my opinion, except for Colonel Fitz, who goes on to, spoiler alert, we're gonna talk about it, but he kills Kevin Spacey's character at the end of the movie because of a misunderstanding. He thought that Ricky was blowing him in the garage when he was really just rolling a joint, just a friendly neighborhood joint. And he goes over there, there's repressed feelings and something, like I said, he was obviously a closet homosexual, which, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just he was very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Pent up?
Well, pent up.
That, yeah. And I think, like, when he went over, I don't know, to confront Kevin or what have you, he, kind of dug back in and found those feelings from his past. Mm-hmm. And acted on those feelings and tried to kiss Kevin because he said his wife was gone fucking some other guy.
Right.
And then
everything was like a front. He said the marriage was a front.
Yeah, he said it was a front.
Which was really just him trying to be nonchalant, like, yeah, you know, shit's falling apart, and this is my life
and
now.
I don't care. And the Colonel thought that was saying, hey, like, I don't care because our marriage is flawed. We're just doing this for show. I'm actually gay. But that's not what Kevin was saying. He tries to kiss him, and then Kevin's like, I think you got the wrong idea. And I think he took that as kind of a slight.
I will say, Kevin Spacey is amazing in this movie.
I love Kevin Spacey in this movie.
I wish I had a better viewing experiences with Kevin Spacey films. Like, I don't think I've seen enough Kevin Spacey to be like, yeah, he's a great actor. Like, the first thing I remember Kevin Spacey being in that I watched was Superman Returns.
Oh,
how
God.
did I know you were going to say that? That is not a good judge of him as an actor.
No, I didn't say he was bad in that film. I'm just saying that's the first time I really remember being like, oh, yeah, that's Kevin Spacey.
That's the first instance that's the first thing you think of when you think of Kevin Spacey.
Name other movies and I can tell you if I saw it. I didn't see 7 till after.
Usual Suspects.
Didn't see it till after.
K-Pax.
I never saw K-Pax.
K-Pax is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, we were just talking about it earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
You were. Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't he in Glengarry Glen Ross?
Yes.
Which I read the play, never saw the movie.
Fuck.
I mean, there's all these films. Like, he's such a great actor.
No, and I know he is, but like I said, I never saw him until...
Yeah, you never got a proper showcase.
Yeah. Until Superman Returns.
I'm just really sad that, like, the first thing you think of is Superman Returns when you think of Kevin Spacey, because...
Please, get that out of your mind.
Again, I know we talked about this before. I didn't find it as bad as film as you guys did.
That movie's dog shit. I'm sorry, Bryan Singer. Your movie's dog shit.
You didn't sugarcoat that at all. It's like, that movie's dog shit.
It is. It's a turd wrapped in burnt hair.
But thinking you're prejudiced against it because you hate Superman.
That, and it's a terrible movie.
Okay.
All right.
He's clearly not going to be swayed of his opinion on this. Neither are you. So we will call it
a draw,
a neutral ground, and we will proceed from there.
All right, sounds
Next
good.
week, Superman Returns.
Well, that's your choice, by the way.
No, false.
False.
Drew reveals he's a masochist. Fucking spit in my face.
Just stab me in the eye.
Oh, it hurts so good.
We watch all of the Superman movies.
Oh boy.
Including Quest for Peace.
Oh God. I would have to excuse myself from that shithole. Oh God. Oh, Nuclear Man. Oh.
So we all liked Spacey.
Yes.
Yeah, Spacey's solid.
I thought Annette Bening was good. I think her character's kind of designed to be unlikable.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think she played it really well. She did really well at playing the phony, hey, you know, it's all a show and we have to act like this because it's what's expected of people and, you know, we have to be jovial all the time. And
can I say, watching this is what I fear about marriage, is you reach this point where you just disdain each other. And then your family, like... Personally, I don't know what the daughter... I mean, she's a teenager, so she's pulling away from her parents, like all teenagers do. They want to be more self-independent, but they can't be. But I really didn't see what her daughter, besides her negative, self-image, which is a big thing, but with her parents, I don't see what the big issue was, except for they were kind of living a lie because they all actually hated what they were doing.
Then I think they were distant.
Yeah.
I really don't think that they were all that... present in her life. I mean, you saw her that they went to her dance thing at the school.
But then her daughter hated that they were supporting her.
Yeah.
It's just being a teenager, I think.
Yeah, it's just being an angsty teenager. The thing I love about this movie, though, is that these situations that they're placed in, like, everything about it, them showing off their marriage, Kevin Spacey's character and Annette Bening's character, just everything about it just seems so real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so relatable. Like, it's crazy how relatable it is. And to see that just showcased in a feature film like this is is amazing.
Well, like I'm going to cut to the part where it seems like they might reconcile. He's, been let go from his job, but he got a great severance package because, well, he blackmailed his employer. Mm-hmm. So he's doing whatever the hell he wants. She's now sleeping with this guy who's like the real estate mogul of the city they're in. So she actually has a new self-confidence about herself. And she looks better.
She has a glow because she's out and having fun again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he has a glow because he's working out now. He's getting his manhood back. He's not in a dead-end job. And it seems like they let their hair down. And it seems like there might be a reconciliation here. They're really hardcore flirting. They're talking about the old days. He's on her pretty much.
Yeah, he's kind of kissing on her neck a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And then she says, "You're going to spill a beer on the couch."
Totally sucks him out of the moment.
Yeah.
And you could see it on his face. He's like, fuck.
Yeah, this is why we don't work well together anymore. It's because she only cares about material objects and that. And he's like, just let it go.
It's just a couch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly what
she's like, it's not just a couch. It's a $4,000 this and that, an Italian covering. And he's like, it's just a fucking couch.
Mm-hmm.
For Christ's sake, woman.
I feel so hard for Kevin Spacey in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like a Joe Everyman.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying.
It is, but that's the reality
right.
of being in a marriage. Like, that kind of shit can happen.
And the other thing is, do you really think Ricky and Jane would be any different? Because I would almost argue that time alters almost everyone. You can try as hard as you can to not change anything about yourself, but time will just fucking do it without you noticing.
It's a generalization, but a large amount of people, people do change. And that's why you see a lot of marriages fail.
But at the same time, just because one thing changes doesn't mean everything has to change.
No.
And I think that's some of the problem is, too, people can get into a rut. Like, they're like, oh, they let one thing change, and they're like, well, now this has to change as well. You don't have to change everything. You change one thing, maybe it's for the better, maybe it's for the worse, and then you maybe have to change another. But it's time, and then you have to just work it out. But, I mean, I don't have any marriage experience.
You don't?
Well, our listeners might not know me.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
So you trying to be a dick actually backfired.
Anyways, I think there's a lot of feeding off of other people's impulses in this movie, which I guess the message would be, don't feed off other people's fucking impulses. If you want happiness, you need to make your own fucking happiness. You shouldn't expect something from somebody else to get you through the day.
Well, and I kind of think that's what Spacey does.
Yeah.
In this movie, he doesn't like the way things are going for him, so he makes changes.
He has fucking goals.
Yeah.
Because, Angela's kind of joking around. She plays a whore, basically, for the whole movie. She's like, oh, yeah, he took it out and showed it to me. And,
by the way, Angela is Jane's friend.
Mina Suvari.
Yeah. It's the girl that Kevin Spacey's character's infatuated.
I couldn't remember if we said her name or not, so that's why I was just clarifying.
Yeah.
And, she kind of makes a joking type of comment because really everything she says throughout the movie is pretty much a lie. I slept with this guy, did this, blah, 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 and you later find out I'm a virgin. And Spacey's like, I think what happens at the end there is he remembers all the shit he did in his youth and all the fun that he had, and he wouldn't want to take that from someone who hasn't experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really fucking redeemable thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to sell this movie to people because he kind of seems like a fucking creep in the beginning.
Like a pedophile. That's the initial thought I got from the film.
Yeah, I could feel it when we were watching it.
Yeah.
We were both like, why the fuck is Jake recommending this movie?
And then the scene where he's taking off her pants and Ty's like, I'm super uncomfortable right now.
Yes, I was a little like, okay, this is odd. All right. This is happening.
I don't think he was drawn to her because she was underage. I think that had nothing to do with
No.
We're not saying that. It's just the fact that it's his daughter's friend and she's still in high school.
Right.
And it's an infatuation he had, but it just was really awkward.
Yeah, I agree. And even though she kind of egged him on a little, flirting, blah, 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 she's a child at the end of the day. And, and he kind of comes to his senses, and he's like, shit, I wouldn't want to do this.
When we talked about how many of these characters in our minds were redeemable, that kind of flipped me on Spacey. I personally didn't find Spacey totally redeemable until that point, because I was like, he was doing what was making him happy, but he kind of said, F to the wind, fuck the wind, and was like, I'm going to do everything I want, so therefore he's throwing his family in the back seat. He's not even trying to work things out with his wife. Instead of just yelling at her the whole time, he never actually tried to talk to her and try and talk out their issues. He just, fuck her, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to try and get in better shape so I can try and nail my daughter's friend.
Then I think he was kind of resentful towards her because she was always, overbearing and just hey, you're...
Everything has to be this way, otherwise people won't like me. I have to put up this appearance.
How would he even talk with Carolyn, though? She was not approachable.
She wouldn't let him get a word in edgewise.
Anything he brought up, she fucking shut him down, would go off on a tangent about this, that, and the other thing. He's hurling asparagus at walls. Nobody listens. So he got to a point where he told her later, when he catches her coming through the drive-thru with the other guy, he says, I just want you to be happy. And then she's like, don't blah, 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 blah. And he goes, you don't get to tell me what to do ever again. I took that as a bridge has been burned. That'd be the end of it. He might still stick around.
But I'm talking the bedroom scene where he gets caught masturbating in the middle of the night by his wife.
Yeah, happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Me and my fictional wife.
I was going to say, who's catching you?
She sounds Jake? Just like me. Jake, are you masturbating? Yes, I am.
I'll teach you a lesson.
I really like that you guys check me out of the insane asylum once a week to come do a podcast.
It's a charity work we do. And out of the goodness of our hearts.
The Save a Jake Foundation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they had a Jake Olsen, but we didn't want that one. Because fuck that guy.
There's no redeemable qualities about him.
No. But she says, you're not the only one who's sexually repressed, and they start getting into a conversation, and he's like, well, you won't do shit about it. It's like, well, how long ago did you try talking to her about this? Instead of just penting it up and being like, oh, it's not what she wants.
So you're saying that he could have done more?
I do. I'm not excusing anything she did.
Okay.
But I'm just saying he could have tried harder.
Fair enough. Yeah, possibly.
Because we're only seeing, I guess it's a year. This movie is a year.
Yeah.
I think that's what he says in the beginning.
Well, yeah, and he said off the bat, he said, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
In less than a year, I'll be dead.
Yeah. So it's about a year that you see this. And so we don't have a whole snapshot of the relationship, what happened. But I'm just saying from this snapshot, maybe he could have talked more. I know you say she didn't let him have a word edgewise, but he had no problem in that scene just standing up to her and yelling at her and telling her his point of view. Why didn't he do that before?
I think he just had enough.
Yeah.
You even see it, from the get-go. He's getting up, getting ready to go to work. His daughter's getting ready to go. They carpool, I guess, to school.
Can't forget. He says, before he quit his job, very beginning, the second scene of the movie, there he is in the shower, spanking the monkey.
And he goes, this is going to be the happiest day, part of my day.
Yeah. It's oh my gosh, that's terrible.
And,
I
she's
would fucking kill myself.
Well, he's walking to the car, and she's like, you want to make me any more late? And then his briefcase opens, and all the shit spills out.
And then he's sleeping in the back seat.
Yeah.
And, yeah. You obviously can tell. He's depressed.
He's subservient.
Yeah. His balls are hanging on the mantle.
But he eventually made a life that he felt was worth living. He did it by blackmailing people, but that company seems like it had a company.
Oh, yeah, it did. It did.
Well, when your chief editorial guy is using company credit cards to buy hookers, I don't think your business plan is going very well.
Well, and now you think about it, you're like, man, most of those magazine businesses are dying off anyways. So this film will be dated. Hell, in the next 5 years even, it'll be totally dated based on where he's working.
I think it'll hold up. I think where he works is such a minor part of the movie that people will be like, I can relate. The only way that it'll really get dated is if there's a huge cultural shift where everything totally changes and we live in some sort of utopia where, classes aren't a thing and, we can all just kind of be happy and do our own shit, but that's never going to happen.
I don't know, it's pretty dated. I mean, Jane's playing a Game Boy.
Don't you have a Game Boy?
Who plays a Game Boy anymore?
Who plays an old school Game Boy anymore?
I fucking would. I wish I had a Game Boy.
I love Game Boy.
Exactly.
I was making a joke.
Oh,
it was a joke.
Really? I can't play it like the old green screen. You can't see shit on it. Like,
that's why you get Game Boy Light, motherfucker. By the way, if you want to hear more details about Game Boy, go to
Jesus
Fire
Christ.
You fucking kidding me? Right in the fucking middle.
Every pod now.
Every pod at this
Every
minute.
time you mention a game, Drew will be like, say there!
Did American Beauty have a game made for it?
No.
I don't believe so. What the fuck would that game... That'd be all over CNN. Fucking Nancy Grace would be like, a game where your goal is to fuck an underage cheerleader. I mean, they make that shit up.
Actually, I think she is 18.
Anyway.
So...
Did they say that?
I think she is 18 and Jane's 17, but...
I must be old because I still feel that that's wrong.
No, it's wrong.
Okay. Then I didn't just say anything. Guys, I'm totally normal.
You're back in the wheelchair. And we'll wheel you back to the hospital.
But the straitjacket's so warm.
We want you to have a hug today. You just hug yourself.
Now take your meds.
So much love I get. Oh my god. I don't know what I'm going to leave in this one.
Oh.
It just paints me as a monster. I just can't speak to people. Anything I say, they're like, wow, this dude's fucked up. This is why I don't initiate conversations with people. It just comes out horribly wrong.
Yeah.
You wear that sweater well. What? That's a nice sweater?
Get away from me.
You're a fucking creep.
Oh.
I have no friends.
What a beautiful dog. It's a cat. All right. Well.
I'm not fucking retarded. I'm going to call a clear dog a cat, Ty.
You never know. It could be like one of those little chihuahuas, but it just looks odd.
I'm going to have to cut this from the pod.
Why?
May I say you have a lovely looking boy there. Oh, that was the ape, wasn't it?
You ever see Brothers Solomon?
No.
When they're trying to adopt a child, so they're trying to, like, be around kids to relate to them.
Oh, God.
So they're parked at a park. This has nothing to do with American Beauty, so fast forward if you don't want to hear it. But they're parked at a park, and they're watching this kid, and the cops get called, and this cop rolls up, and it's Will Arnett and Will Forte in this car playing brothers. And the cop's like, hey, what are you gentlemen doing? And he goes... Will Arnett's like, we're trying to coax that kid into our car, but his mom's being a real pain in the ass.
Oh, gosh.
And that's the best part of that movie. I just saved you all
an hour and a
half
Yeah.
of your precious life when you could be out watching plastic bags in the wind. If you want.
You have to try and see the beauty in that movie.
You know, this movie kind of did make me... for a temporary stretch, kind of try to focus on the good in things. Believe it or not, there was a point in my life where I was like, I'm going to try to see the good in this. And then it shriveled up and fucking died.
Like, what, 5 minutes later?
Yeah. Then he saw Mystery Men the next day.
And then he's like, fuck it, there's no good in this world.
I've been a broken man ever since.
So... I guess let me put it this way: is there anything in the movie that we didn't like?
You got anything off the top of your head? I could jump in.
Jump in. Let me think.
There's one line in particular towards the end of the movie with Ricky and Jane, where they're in an argument with Angela, and Angela's like, he's so weird, and Jane says something about, then we'll always be weird, and we'll run off, and we'll do our stuff together, and it's just, it's the only line that really reeks of, like, angsty, fucking, like, Hot Topic douchebag, like, fuck the system bullshit.
I hope Hot Topic doesn't become a
sponsor. Yeah, because Hot Topic can sponsor and fucking... We're going to put a dog collar on our fucking microphone? How would we sponsor Hot Topic?
We just would drop their names.
Yeah, he's right. Sorry, I flew off the handle there.
Yeah, dick.
Try to see the beauty in it.
Yeah, see the beauty in Hot Topic.
Being a cringy goth person?
Yeah.
The part that, besides the line you talked about, that was kind of stupid. I also didn't, like, I get what they meant, but I didn't really like them calling her ordinary either. It's like, where do you get off calling somebody ordinary? Like, what about her is ordinary? I mean, she's a dancer, she's a model. What about that is ordinary? This is Angela, Jane's friend, that they call ordinary.
You gonna take this?
You're talking about Jane.
No. Jane and Jane
is
Angela ordinary.
Yeah. I think they're calling her ordinary is because she mentions earlier in the movie there is nothing worse than being ordinary. And she's saying that just to get her riled up because she knows that that will hurt her.
I must have missed that line earlier in the film then, because I was like, where do they get off saying that?
I also... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
no, go ahead.
I also think that they hit her with that because it... fuck, I had it. Now it's gone. Shit. Give me a minute. Fuck it. Just start talking about something else. It's gone. It was there, then it died. Okay. Nope, it's gone.
Oh my god! the look in your eye was, I got it again, and then, dude, it diminished.
For a fraction of a second, I fucking grabbed it again, and then my brain was just like, no. You don't need it. Bags in the wind.
Yeah, I was going to say, it flew out of your brain like a paper bag.
I think the reason they criticized her being ordinary is because I think they find her need to be not ordinary in ordinary things. Does what I just said make any sense?
No, yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Yes.
Like their thing is kind of, we're doing our thing and we don't really care
her trying to fit in or be better is a bad it's a bad thing. You need to be yourself.
And I think they inherently dub that ordinary. Your need to feel accepted makes you an ordinary person.
But that's what every high school student tries to do.
I think that's what every person tries to do. Like, don't you want to feel accepted at least somewhere in your life?
Like I said before, people are just trying to belong.
Yes.
Some way, somehow.
Beautiful.
Elegant. Poignant. Words.
Thesaurus. To think that this was this director's first movie that he ever directed, that's fucking insane.
Yes. He did great with this film. And one scene also, I mean, I mentioned the red on white door. The other scene, which was really, really well done, was Ricky is videotaping Angela and Jane through his own window and through Jane's. And she's like, man, he's being a creep. And Angela's like, I'm going to have some fun with it. She's dancing in the window. He looks past Angela to Jane, who's sitting in front of her mirror, and then she just gives this little smirk, and it was a very well done shot. It just was like, wow, that is so Jane likes the attention, but it's weird because she keeps I don't want this, but then she does enjoy the attention.
I think she was warming up. Mm-hmm. That is a good shot.
It was
very critical moment.
But yeah, I mean, for first time, we had The Town last week, which was Ben Affleck's second movie he directed, but we talked about Gone Baby Gone being his first, and how very well done that was for a guy who had been an actor the whole time to then step behind the camera and have a great first film like that. Yeah,
Sam Mendes was the director, and he went on to eventually do Bond.
He did both Spectre and Skyfall.
Yep. One pretty well received, the other kind of mixed, but I enjoyed both of them.
I liked Skyfall. I never saw Spectre, though.
I didn't either.
He's a really interesting pick, but it kind of makes sense in the grand scheme of stuff that he's done is very character-driven, so he kind of lent a little gravitas to the Bond character. He's more than just a man whore.
Well,
He's a thoughtful man whore.
He's a thoughtful man whore. Oh, just like Sean Connery. 9 no's and 1 yes still means yes.
Pretty sure that's rape.
That's an old Family Guy reference.
Are you a Bill Cosby fan?
No.
You sound like one.
Oh, no.
Can you do a Bill Cosby impression?
I cannot do that.
Please try a Bill Cosby.
I am not trying to Bill Cosby. If I can't do a Boston Shy Guys in Bondage.
Chowder.
Chowder.
I can't do a Bill Cosby pudding pop.
I actually got a lot of hate mail that you didn't even try.
Really? From who?
Fucking lots of people.
Yeah.
All of the
people.
All of the people.
They called me. They were like, he should have tried one. They said you're a fucking letdown and a disgrace.
Our listener called.
Our listener. What number did he call? We don't have like a hotline set up.
249er567.
Wait, did I hear a niner in there?
Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
No, it was a cordless.
Movie references.
Did you get a snail mail or something like that?
Yeah, all of those things.
I don't remember the last time I received a fax.
It's like clamoring for a quality Tyrell Boston accent.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
Do your farmer accent or whatever the hell you were touting
I
earlier.
I can't do it on demand.
No pressure.
I have to let it come naturally.
The listener is waiting.
I'm
the listener. I edit this.
Oh dear.
We're just gonna keep you on the fire until you fucking do something.
It's fine. I like watching you watch me squirm.
He thrives on it.
Did I creep you out a little bit?
We all need many years of therapy.
Some more than others.
Well, seeing you're already getting it, Jake.
What am I getting?
Therapy.
Oh.
We have to bust you out every
at the hospital.
I forgot the pills make me forgetful. That's why I can never remember the movies we just watched.
Oh.
There's a Mario!
Why won't he jump?
Damn dump.
I love how we throw back. And usually it's my lines.
Any new listener will be like, what the fuck is all this bullshit?
Back to the movie. I don't know how much else there is to talk about it.
Any actors stand out other than Spacey?
Other than Spacey, like I said, Wes Bentley, he's just odd. Like, it's a perfect way it's done, but like at first I really hated him, and then by the end of the film, like, I don't know, I kind of empathized with him. Mm-hmm. Scott Bakula in his 2 minutes on screen was great.
That was such a minor role.
I know.
He quantum leaped the fuck out of this movie.
He did.
I thought Annette Bening was great. Like, she was totally believable as this I don't know, this housewife who's trying to put on a facade.
I was gonna say, who is the character who is the least redeeming? Least redeemable character in your mind in this film?
Probably Colonel Fitz. Somewhat redeeming, but I don't know. He didn't really redeem himself.
No.
He just covered up what he is, really. Mm-hmm. He snuffed out the only person that ever saw what he really is.
I would say I agree with you about Fitz. I also didn't care for Angela's character. Like, okay. she was pretty much a terrible person throughout the entire movie.
I was actually getting, like, I get both your points. Like, Fitz, yeah, he did terrible thing at the end and just was really hiding who he truly was, and years of abuse to not only his son but probably his wife, living this lie. Understandable that he's not redeemable, but he does try at the end to become himself. It just then shit falls through. Angela, she has a change of conscience at the end too, like when Spacey actually gets an opportunity and he rejects it. And I think she starts to realize there's more than what she talks about. So I don't know, I find that a little bit redeeming.
There are parts to each character being redeeming.
But I go with Annette Bening. Because she totally emasculated her husband to the point where she starts sleeping around with the realty king, whatever his dang name is.
Mm-hmm. Buddy.
And then she acts like she's friends with her daughter, which she isn't. She barely notices her daughter exists, and then when her daughter doesn't do what she wants, like she's like, could you try to look even uglier today? It's like, who the hell says that to their daughter?
What a nice mom.
Yeah. Or then when she did the dance routine and she's like, oh yeah, you did okay.
You didn't screw up at all.
Yeah. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you more, even more so than.
And then at the end when she's listening to this tape and she's calling herself the victim, even though Kevin Spacey's like, I don't care what you do. Do whatever the hell you want to. I don't care. She's no victim. She's the perpetrator.
I think Annette Bening lived most of her life never having to deal with a problem. You know, her job, she goes, she cleans up a house, she tries to sell it. She's pretty much secluded. It's just her. So dealing with other people, I think, would be a struggle for her. One thing I would argue kind of makes her redeeming to me is at the end of the movie, Kevin Spacey's been shot. She's clearly out in the car, fucking around with a gun, thinking, you know, maybe I'll confront him, you know. Lester, I'm tired of this, blah, blah, blah. But she runs up at the end after she's seen his body and throws her gun shamefully in that basket in her closet.
Mm-hmm.
And then hugs all of his clothes, I assume because they smell like him. And that's going to be gone one day. And I think she's horrified at the thought of not having him. So I think at the very least, she's at least a little redeemable to me because she was so sad that it had happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think she would have done anything. She might have gone and threatened him. That would have been the end of it, but it seemed to already be taken care of.
I just thought it was so interesting in the way, like, she kind of transitioned. Like, she was this character, this housewife who has always been so negative towards Lester and her daughter, and she starts coming to grips with the realities of Kevin Spacey's changing, his constant changing, and you start to see her change as a character as well.
Yeah. But, I mean, and I like that we each had one person we thought was not the least redeemable. You know, 3 different thoughts. And I'm sure somebody watched this movie, they might even think it's somebody else. They might even think Lester is the one that's least redeemable.
Drop us a comment.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Mm-hmm.
We love debating. Well, not really debating. We're not going to debate.
Well, we're master debaters.
Yeah. I didn't take that joke, but you totally grabbed it.
That's low hanging fruit.
Well, we've already mentioned it twice in this podcast. I was like, you know what? Why not throw it out there?
That's what's cool about movies like this. Like, the characters are they're so interesting. Like, you can dive into them and you can have discussions about them.
As I say, we could not have done this with Super Mario Brothers
or Ricky O or Mystery Men.
Did you guys find this movie pretentious?
No. And really the scene where I thought that was going to be pretentious was the bag scene. And it was a little, but it wasn't like over the top.
True. No, absolutely not. And I just think with film, like these great films, it's so refreshing to see a cast of characters that you can really I don't know, you just see them come alive and they're just so vivid and described so brilliantly.
Relatable.
Yes. Yeah. That was the coolest part, I thought, was just everyone was so relatable.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to bring it up because this movie got a lot of kind of backlash after it was, you know, I think it won Best Picture, got a lot of praise for how great it was, and a lot of people just started dissecting it. And it's almost like the general public doesn't want a good movie.
Well, it's one of the things where, like, everyone loves to see a hero succeed, but they also love to see a hero fall.
That's very true.
Like Superman.
Sure.
I just want to see Superman fall.
Any fun facts about the movie?
Actually, I found this funny. I even pointed out while we were watching it. In one of the last scenes with Ricky and his dad in his bedroom, they're getting into a fight. His dad's beating him. I thought it was kind of a goof. I'm like, where the hell's his bed? Like, his bed just disappeared. I'm like, there's a bed. We've been in this room several times. I know there's a bed. I've seen it. Where is it? No, it's just an empty room now. I don't even think I saw the dresser. I'm like, does Dad move all of his stuff out?
What kind of bed was it?
It was just a twin. It was a twin bed. It wasn't a couch pull-out.
What kind of dresser?
Are you sure?
It was a wooden dresser.
Are you sure it wasn't a pull-out?
I hate you guys.
No, seriously. Like, that scene where...
Was it a race car bed?
The scene where Ricky and Jane are on that bed in his room.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a pull-out.
I thought it was just a regular twin cot setup.
You know Ricky never pulls out. Cut that. Well, I don't know why I'm telling myself cut that. Actually, I just told myself to cut that.
Why are you going in a circle right now?
I don't know. I'm broken.
But no, a fun fact about this movie, and Ty, you brought it up earlier, that Kirsten Dunst was supposed to be the role Angela instead of Mina Suvari, and she didn't want to do it because she literally didn't want to kiss Kevin Spacey.
Stupid.
Which Jake admitted during the filming that, or during the viewing, that he would kiss Kevin Spacey.
For millions of dollars? Fuck yeah.
And especially a movie, like, that was so dumb of her not to do that, because that movie won Best Picture.
It's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's just coming from an idiot that didn't read the script and go, I want to be a part of something that, people will really enjoy. People will watch this movie and actually take something away from it. Mm-hmm. That's kind of why I picked it. I kind of wanted you to see it.
It makes you wonder if she actually read the script
or
not.
Probably not.
And this makes me wonder if that's why she kind of did this film later. Did you ever see that Crazy Beautiful?
No.
It's
about Melancholia, though.
What?
Melancholia? Lars von Trier?
I don't know what that is.
No?
No. But Crazy Beautiful, it's not exactly the same as this film, but I think it kind of tries to play like it. She comes from a dysfunctional family, and she starts dating this boy in her high school that she usually wouldn't date. He's kind of, coming from a poor family, and they kind of want to run away together. It more focuses on that relationship than all the relationships, but yeah. Other than that, fun facts, I think we talked about it, that the bag scene was pivotal for the writer. Kevin Spacey has to portray himself as fat, and he actually really wasn't during this film, because of, the daughter's friend Angela talks about if only he was more muscular. And Kevin Spacey's in the garage trying to, look at his fat belly. The thing is, like, they hid how his back was postured, and he's really just throwing his hips forward to make his gut look bigger. Mm-hmm. Other than that, but he was actually in really good shape for this film. They're really, but everything else wasn't much fun facts, I guess, that we haven't covered already. Not that I can remember off the top of my head.
You said that Jake Gyllenhaal and Seth Green were up for the part of
Ricky. I think Seth Green would have been an interesting choice for Ricky. I don't think he could have pulled off the creepiness that Wes Bentley does, though.
Imagine if he did, though.
I would have a lot more respect for Seth Green.
That could have taken his career in a totally different direction. Yeah. Not that Robot Chicken is bad. I think.
But you think of the films he's done.
Right.
Austin Powers, Without a Paddle, which I like Without a Paddle, but...
You guys are fucking...
Scooby-Doo 2.
It's passable. You have Matthew Lillard, so it's okay. Because he did Scream, and he gets a free pass for life.
So you do one film, you automatically get a free pass.
If it's fucking good enough.
I don't
Actually, no.
I was going to say, so Nick Cage has a free pass for life.
Has he not been acting like he has a free pass for life?
That's true.
You're talking about a motherfucker that bought tigers and a castle.
He bought an island as well.
Well, he should. Motherfucker, discovered the secret treasure of...
He should have bought a fucking financial advisor.
Yes.
To be like, this is a horrible idea, this is bad, and I'm locking you out of your account. You can have $20, go across the street, get a sandwich, and don't fucking hurt anybody or yourself.
So, on our entertainment review scale, what do we give this? I'll go first. I give it a 9.5.
Damn.
Yeah, that's better than The Town, and I really love The Town. This film was just, like you said, it was very poignant, and I hope that I'm using that word correctly. But it's very deep. Every character is well thought out. There's something to them, and each one, no matter how small, I guess except for the gay couple neighbor, they kind of just disappear. They're there, then they're gone. And I think they're really only there to like set up for a repeated viewing. Then you maybe get the undertone with the dad and what he's hiding, Ricky's dad. That's the only thing I can see. But yeah, I'd go with a solid 9.5.
I think I'd give it a perfect 10. It's really, I don't want to say the gold standard, because I like variation. I like when people try stuff new, but it's everything I go to a movie hoping I'll get. I want to leave with a new view on things. I want to feel like I'm a part of something. I want to feel like I can relate to characters, and this movie provides all that for me. It's probably in my top 5. I've seen it over and over and over, and I could pretty much watch it any day, anytime. It's just one of those movies that, you can enjoy.
For me, I'll go in the middle of the pack between you two. I'll give it a 9.75.
Super
all
high.
you and your damn decimals.
Yeah, why not? It's my review. But no, I like you guys said, it's a fantastic film. Amazingly done. Character development is brilliant. The story's great. Like Jake said, it gives you everything you want out of a movie. The movie ended, I felt satisfied with everything. There was no really loose ends or any hang-ups I had about the movie. I thought the shots were done brilliantly. The dialogue is great, and just relatable characters all around. And I don't think you could have asked for a better lead than Kevin Spacey. And it's easy to see why a film like this won Best Picture. It was just brilliantly done.
See,
wow.
This is probably the best movie we've watched / done.
Yeah.
Seeing Jake probably also picked the worst movie that we've watched / done.
Is American Beauty better than Riccio?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a debate for another time.
I don't think it's much of a debate.
Actually, my boat is already taking on water there. I already gave this a higher rating, so there's literally no boat to be in.
No, yeah.
Why am I talking about boats?
Riccio was the fucking Titanic.
Fair enough. You mean a large, dependable ship? Until human error caused a tremendous fuck up?
No, I think this was more like the little boat that Captain Ahab took out to go kill Moby Dick. And Moby Dick sank that motherfucker to the bottom of the ocean.
Chewed up his dinghy.
Yes, what Jake said.
That's a boat, right?
Yeah. So that was American Beauty.
Yeah. So, Drew, do you have an insight or a preview for what be coming next week?
Yeah, I think I came to a conclusion with what I want to go with next week.
Can we take a guess?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Mannequin.
Oh, the Kim Cattrall movie?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I've never been more happy to hear that. Is it a good movie?
It is a very good movie.
That could be anything.
I know it's not the Mighty Ducks then.
Oh
God. Oh, I hate you
All
so
of
much.
our listener, please ridicule Jake. Reprimand him because the Mighty Ducks is a timeless classic.
Emilio!
But no, it's not the Mighty Ducks. It's a foreign film. But it is a very good foreign film.
Das Boot?
No. It's called City of God.
I haven't heard of it, so I guess I'll just have to wait and see.
You were in for a treat.
It's a great film.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this week. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. Visit our friend that does the music for us.
Bat's Toe.
Thank you. Name escaped me for a second.
Evan.
Who are you again?
Who am I?
Did he forget how we do
Yeah.
the end of the podcast?
I was just going through and saying thank yous.
I'm Tyrell.
No, you're Jake.
This motherfucker.
What is happening right now?
I was doing just fine, and he...
Is that not how we close all the pods?
Yes, but I was doing a thank you.
I
I
was
was
still wrapping up.
Yeah, I was
You
still
were-
wrapping
I
up.
thought
I
we
was
were
getting
trailing off.
No, I was
Okay.
getting to our names, you dipshit. Oh,
I'm going to leave all this, reveal you for the massive cunt that you really are.
Wow, I can't believe you used that word.
I bet the listener can believe that I would use that word.
Yes, but you're a psychopath, as we've established.
This is not true. This is slander against my good name.
Saying you're the one who wanted to murder children.
I never said.
This is just progressively spiraling down.
When you take things out of context, they sound really bad.
Oh.
Like Shy Guys in Bondage.
You didn't say it right.
Excuse me, Shy Guys in Bondage.
Chowder.
Do it.
Oh.
Chowder.
Chocolate pudding.
What was... Is that supposed to be a Bill Cosby?
That's JFK as Bill Cosby. Roof and all.
Eat the pudding. Eat it.
Anyways.
Oh, all right. Well,
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe also to Drew's podcast.
Friendly Fire Gaming.
And we will see you next week. Well, you'll listen to us again next week. I'm Tyrell.
Don't tell them what to do. I'm Jake.
And I'm Drew.
Please listen next week.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.